Okay, we are live. Okay, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's Investors Discovery Day. This is the CEO live chat for November 6th. We got a very exciting company to introduce to you today, which is in the gold space. We've had a lot of gold gurus, on our program in past months. Everybody from Jim Rogers, Mark Faber, Brian Lund, the who's who, David Morgan, the silver guy, and so we've been waiting to really find the right company to kind of bring onto our platform, which has that, which kind of meets the criteria that we have for stocks with that 10x to 100x upside potential. So these are companies going after big market opportunities, big projects. They're at a key inflection point right now, and there are multiple catalysts in place for creating value. So with that said, we're going to bring on Alex Klenman, the CEO of Cross River, and he's going to really kind of give you all the details. Alex, welcome.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate you having me, and look forward to telling the story.
Okay, excellent. You get very exciting news today. The stock is really exploding on the news of the Northern Dominion deal. So we kind of want to dive into that. But the first thing is obviously you should know that our audience they're looking for those 10-bagger stocks. They're not looking to double their money with 50% stocks with 10x, 100x, real upside potential. And they've been spoiled because we've had a bunch of those winners. So we need to find out today if Cross River is going to be our next 10x to 100x stock. So with that said, just from a big picture perspective, what is Cross River all about?
Sure. Well, we IPO'd in July, so we're a relatively new public company. Our structure's pretty tight, which is what you want for this type of opportunity. But what we wanted to do was go out, make an impactful acquisition early that would give our shareholders and our early investors that opportunity at that 10-bagger, like you say. So we've, as you mentioned, the news today, we've acquired a robust gold project portfolio in northwestern Ontario, Canada, which is one of the best places on the planet to find big deposits. And we're excited about the news, and we can go into that a little bit further as we talk.
Okay, fantastic. I actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up. I got the map. You sent this map.
Sure.
Which we'll talk about the project, and let's see if this works here. Okay, we got the map.
There it is.
Okay, so Alex, so can you kind of tell us what's the history of the project, the team? I mean, obviously the market's excited about it because the stock is moving. So give us the details.
Sure. Well, you can see all the red there. That's what we just acquired. There's 8 projects total, about 17,000 hectares, so sizable land packages, and they're all in and around some very large deposits, some very large mines. You can see them. This is the Archean Superior. Basically, these gold belts in northwestern Ontario are prolific. All those yellow dots it's basically gold. There's no other way to say it. The bigger the dot, the more the gold. So you can see the mines. You can see where we're at. So one of the things we wanted to do was find an acquisition that would put us on the map right away, right out of the starting gate. And this is it. We found this through a company called Northern Dominion Metals, which was a private company put together by some well-known geologists and people in the business, among them Dr. Rob Carpenter, a PhD, who was CEO of Kaminik, sold to Goldcorp a couple of years back for $500 million. Dr. Alan Wainwright, Dan McNeil, these guys know what they're doing. They were involved with the discovery of the coffee deposit. It's a 5 million ounce deposit. So this group put together this portfolio. They handpicked these projects based on a particular criteria that would give them the best shot at another significant discovery. And we think that sits within this portfolio right here.
Okay, so this is all about really the risk reward. Anytime we're involved with the resource market exploration. So before I ask you the details about the project, the team, the people is always the most important thing. I think it's the people is the key. So this team, just in case, we do have a lot of people who are, who may not know, gold, and they're kind of, they don't know the details. So how did those stocks do that they were involved with, those projects? What,
Yeah, that's a good question. I honestly don't know what Kamenek ended up selling for, but you would assume $500 million made a significant impact on their market cap and the share price at the time. Where we're at, we can speak to having a tight structure. I mean, we're fully funded. We will be fully funded even after this acquisition. Our share float will be in the 25 million range. So it's a perfect setup for discovery, which is where you get that opportunity at the big return. And you mentioned risk reward. Listen, exploration is it's an acquired taste, but if you've had success investing in early stage explorers that hit, things go your way. Everybody talks about Great Bear Resources, which is down the road and near some of our claims. Great Bear had a similar float, about 30 million, and they made a massive discovery. You can see Dixie Great Bear there, just to the west of our Ear Falls. It's actually north by that, northwest of our Ear Falls claims. But that was a massive discovery, and the early shareholders are beyond happy. So that's really what this risk reward is. It goes back to prospecting. Honestly, I mean, just there's something in humans that we want to find things. So we're going to poke around. We're going to find it. There's excitement behind that because it's early, and we didn't pick these because they're just proximity plays. These were picked. These were handpicked. The structural criteria, the geological criteria that went behind these, the choices to pick these up is all there from a very well-respected group with a great history behind them.
Okay, so what's the and I guess we may have, just in case, hopefully we'll get some like technical people asking questions here on the live stream. Anybody?
Don't ask too many technical questions.
well, definitely. I'm really the generalist, so I kind of want to get kind of the big picture, and hopefully we'll have some people who really know the exploration space. They'll pop in with some questions here, but. So in terms of what was their criteria, like maybe what kind of work was done on these projects? Like what's the potential, like really, I guess, what's the potential of these projects? Like what makes them so exciting?
Yeah. What makes them exciting is obviously where they are. Number one, if you're going to look for, I always use this analogy, and it's funny. I'm not a hunter, but if you're looking for an elephant, you got to go where the elephants are, and that's where we are in this particular area. There's millions of ounces of gold in this area, and the fact is that a lot of the area still has been underexplored using modern mining techniques and modern exploration techniques. So that's what we're going to employ. We're going to go into these areas that show you hints of what you want from a geological perspective. We're talking structurally. We're talking about trends. We're talking about things like that. But when you're also looking at, little bit of work that's been done on them is hinting in the right direction. So none of these have been, really overexplored. None of these claims, none of these projects, but they do show the little things you like to see in the beginning days. And we're confident that the guys who put this package together and believed in it are on the right track, and we're committed to developing the project.
Okay, so we got some of these numbers on the screen here. We got Lang Lake. That looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, Lang Lake the Lang Lake Belt is one of the more prominent projects in there. There's actually 3 within that, McVicker being one of them. We really like that. That looks to be probably a priority target for us. It's had a little bit of drilling in the past. You can see some numbers there that are pretty good. We also like Dent Lake. We like Ear Falls, which is as you can see, the graphic explains it. It's an unexplored break just south of Dixie Lake, where Great Bear made their massive discovery. So, we're in the right area. It's just going to take some time to develop these, but upon discovery, upon a drill hole that says something, this is where you get your 10 baggers from when this type of thing. I mean, look, we put the news out today. I think we're up 15 or 20% just on the news. So there is a large group, a large portion of the investment community that really like these early stage exploration plays because the bang for the buck is pretty good. And I mean, you can put your money in Barrick, get a nice return, a nice steady Eddie return over the course of a bull market, no doubt about it. But you might go $60 a share to 120 in a booming market, whereas you can buy Cross River or other explorers in the teens or the 20s or the 30s, 40s, 50s, where we are now, it's still under $1. And upon discovery, you can see that $4, $5, $6 stock coming out of it. But again, we've got to drill, we've got to find the right places, and we need success. But risk reward, I think, just the criteria alone on the acquisition of these properties de-risks it to some certain degree.
Yeah, so absolutely, and this is like every time we've had any of the the well-known gold gurus on our program. This is all they talk about. Hey, when gold starts running, when there's a bull market, the real money is made in the juniors, in the exploration stocks,
Yeah.
like Cross River. That's where the money goes, and really because you guys make all the money. You find a project, if it's a home run, you sell it off and you go on to the next deal. Whereas
Right.
the the producers, they got to spend years doing all the hard work to get
Right.
the gold out of it.
Another thing to note here is we're not a one-trick pony. We now have a total of 10 projects in our portfolio, 9 of them in this general area that we're focused on. And so we've got, essentially, if you want to look at it that way, we've got 9 shots, 9 at bats to hit the ball out of the park.
Multiple shots on goal, right? As they
Yeah.
say in hockey.
Right, you got it, Mom. Yeah, or I'm a baseball guy too. So let's say you get plenty of at bats here to hit one out of the park. So that's the good thing. And they're, listen, can't say enough about people who put that package together. Their history of prior success and discovery success is right there. So we kind of lucked into that. What a way to launch Cross River into the mainstream.
Okay, so it looks. I mean, based on the map, again, it looks like. I mean, you're in the right neighborhood, right? You had this 30 million ounces. Is that 30 million ounces? Am I reading it?
That's Red Lake. Yeah. That's the center of Red Lake there. That Evolution purchased basically Goldcorp, I believe, right out of there. So that's 30 million ounce endowment there, but all around us, smaller deposits in mine and working mines. So,
Okay.
if you look where these yellow dots are, or the gold dots, let's call them gold, they're all on the green. So, we're in and around the green, which is where you want to be.
Okay. And so I guess the question now is like, what's the path? Let's kind of like in terms of from just a generalist perspective is like, what's the path to getting to that 10x level? In other words, like what kind of results do you have to produce, and what are your plans for exploration? Like what's going to be that path for creating that shareholder value over the next coming months?
Right. Well, it's clear and it's easy and it's not that complicated. You're going to go in and do as much exploration work as we can in these properties over the next 3 to 6 months. In 2021, we'd like to get to drilling these. When you get to drilling, that's where you get your explosion. We need a drill hole on one of these projects that is confirming potentially what we think is there, something to put us on the map. And these, it really anything of size, length, grade would fit that criteria. But really, we're going to be aggressive in developing these. The market's perfect for it. We're going to see an epic gold run here, I think. There's so many macro things contributing to the price of gold, the performance of the price of gold and where it's going to go. So there's never been a better time to try to deliver a drill hole to the market. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be aggressive marketing the company. So we have eyeballs, because that's important. We're in a liquid environment for investors. And, but it's nice to know we have such a great technical team working with us, and that they did the homework on these projects to get it to this point.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. In terms of gold, I mean, we're bullish on gold here. I mean, I personally think we'll see 3,500 in the next 12, 18 months. I mean, I like to say 5,000. We've put out because 5,000 it sounds dramatic. It could get it could there is really actually no reason why not when you think about it.
Well,
But
gold is
3,500 is realistic.
Yeah, gold is highly manipulated, as we know. However, you can't hold a cork underwater, and fiscal policies on a large scale are not are, you know, they're playing with fire. So gold is always seen as the hedge, and we see these swings. I think watch what happens to the price of gold when that stimulus package is passed, when some sort of stimulus package is passed, because that print, we've got to print more money, and that's the type of thing you see. Some well-known investors talk about who's going to pay the bills.
Right.
We're talking about inflation, we're talking about all sorts of things, but
There's a lot of
time is
catalysts.
right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of catalysts, and I actually think what's going to set off gold is probably something we're not even talking about now. It's you don't it's like,
Yeah,
but there's going to be something. I mean, look, it's already 2000. Nobody was even talking about it. 6 months ago, right? Or I guess 9 months ago. 6 months would be March would start. But
yeah,
yes, definitely. And I think what's going to happen is, here's the thing. With our program, people who follow our, what we're doing here with. These live streams is, we're looking to get positioned, in companies which are, inside of big themes, big,
yeah,
waves, big trend waves, change waves.
sure,
And we want to be, again, let's use that hockey metaphor. We want to be where the puck is heading, right? We don't want
yeah,
to chase after the puck.
right,
So, gold is, it's not even, it hasn't even really started the move. I mean,
no,
2000, like not, it really is like not even like the first inning here. So I think
right,
once it kind of breaks 22, 2,500, the market's going to go crazy
yeah,
for the
yeah,
exploration stock. So which is, Alex, that's the reason why
right,
we have you here, is because we want to, be where the puck is heading.
yeah.
Let's see. We don't have any questions. This is shocking. We got people in the audience. We got no live questions yet. So
Somebody will jump in.
which is not unusual. The first
Yeah,
time.
well, here's one thing to think about too. In this business, geniuses are built on wind. What I mean by that is, if you happen to put your sail up and a nice wind comes along, then the captain of the ship suddenly becomes a genius. So what we're saying here is we've got our sail up. Wind is coming. It's coming in waves at this point. But when the big wind comes from the true bull, it can be epic. I mean, I've seen it in uranium. I've seen it at different times in the gold sector. We're getting hints of it now, and I think it's just a matter of time. But you're right. When the masses come in hard into this sector, it just blows everything else out of the water.
So Alex, one thing I didn't even ask, tell us about, like, your background and also some of the key players on the team, and significantly the team with the original kind of the technical
Yeah.
team, they're staying on board.
Yeah, basically, it's an unofficial official or an official unofficial advisory committee relationship. The acquisition gives them 2.5 million shares of Cross River, so it behooves them to be involved to oversee the exploration on the projects that they identified and that they would like to stay involved with. I'm unsure how much day-to-day work they'll be involved with, but certainly they're going to be involved in overseeing exploration and going through the data that we generate from the early exploration, the first phase of exploration on the projects.
Okay, and what about your background? Can you tell our audience,
Yeah,
like how you got involved with this
sure.
with this project and everything else?
Yeah, no, I'm an exploration CEO. I'm a guy who works with multiple companies. I've been involved with the space for a decade, pretty hard, and I'm an active CEO. I'm easy to get to. People can call me anytime. I'm a marketer essentially, as well as anything else, and I like to make sure that the companies I'm involved with, and particularly CRVC, will have a huge audience. That's that. Too many people in this business wait till they have something to say. But if you open the curtain and you haven't told anybody about anything, no one's sitting in the seats. So we got to make sure that the house is packed, and that when we put out news, there's a receptive audience. So that's my function. And the other guys involved have plenty of experience in this business. We all know our what lane to stay in, and we're going to let the geologists direct the groundwork, and we'll take care of the rest.
Okay, excellent. So the bottom line is, I get the sense of that you are focused on shareholder value. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's a priority. Okay, hey, let's jump into some questions. We got some questions coming in here.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop this on the screen. The magical unicorn is asking, the orange spots, Alex, you see the question?
Right. Yes. No. If that were the case, all of us would be on a beach in the Bahamas. The reality is the orange spots are gold occurrences, gold deposits, gold mines. The larger the dots, the greater the reserves, or the greater the size of the deposits. We're in and around those. We have the small dots really where we are, because the beginnings of exploration have taken place, and we're getting little bits of it on our properties. But ultimately, we'd like to have a very large round gold circle under every single one of those red dots. That's what we're hoping to do.
Okay. Janet is asking, are you planning any more acquisitions? Do you have, I mean, like, what's
Sure.
your, like, is that like part of your strategy?
Yeah, our strategy was to make acquisitions. Now is the time to do it while our structure's tight and the share price is in a good place. I should say we're not done shopping. We are looking. There's several other things that are on our radar, several other projects in the area. So yeah, there very well might be another acquisition before too long.
Okay. We got Jack. Jack is a Topolowski is a returning audience
Okay,
member.
good.
Always asks good questions. Um, he said the news release mentioned many of the projects you have had not used modern exploration techniques yet. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of these projects we're talking about historical work that's been done, from the 40s all the way to say maybe the 80s and the early 90s. There hasn't been a lot of there's been a lot of technological advances in the last decade or so in terms of how to use airborne surveys, magnetic surveys, and all sorts of other things. And really, what those do is give you an idea of the geology beneath the ground. Where are the breaks? In these, where the fault lines, where are the areas that gold deposition is most likely to occur. Remember, gold was moved by fluids millions of years ago. These things were, we're talking millennia. So we'd like to, use those techniques to help us hone in, maybe remove a lot of time and cost that would normally get us to the point where we have priority drill targets. So by using the latest technologies, and by deploying them properly, we'll be able to cut some time and cost off of the exploration process and get right to drilling, generating drill targets that are priorities for us. And I think there was a second part of that question too. Pop it up.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay. So,
right there they are.
Yeah. What are the initial exploration steps? What's the
how to pick where to go, and then the initial exploration steps I think I just covered. But what you want to do is you want to generate drill targets. Every single one of those projects will have an inventory of targets. Now, some of those targets might be secondary targets, some of them will be primary targets. It's our job to sift through the data that we can generate, find what we feel, and when I say we, I'm talking about the technical team that sort of comes with this acquisition. What these guys feel is the likeliest place to pop drill holes to get that discovery. So that'll be the path, that'll be the plan.
Okay, so I guess it's kind of almost a related question. When do you expect your first drills to start, and which target?
Sure. Well, at this point, just from the previous work that's been done and in talking to some of the guys involved with the acquisition, we really like the Lang Lake Belt, in particular the McVicker East project. That has a lot of things these guys like, and that was probably the first place you'll see a drill hole, and that's the Lang Lake East. It's the one if you move to the left.
Okay, hang on.
Let me out a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. You can see it. Up.
Okay.
North. It's hard to tell with this thing. Keep going. Up.
There we go.
Okay, so there's three projects that they're within that little belt there, and McVicker East is the one we're really excited about. You can see some of the drill holes, historic drill holes. Now those aren't exceptionally lengthy intercepts, but they're certainly of grade, and that's the one thing you really like to see is grade. So, the first round of drilling would probably be, can we replicate some of those numbers? Can we extend some of the lengths? The lengthier the intercepts, the more economic we're talking. So that's probably the first place, and I'm just saying that based on the conversations I've had and some of the data I've seen. But again, those decisions will be made by the experts, the guys with PhDs, none of which are in this room between you and I, Jack.
Exactly. So yeah, all I know is asking about, hey, what's going to make the stock go 10x? That's
That's
my
it.
question is only limited. Everything else I don't really care about. Okay, so JJJ Edwards asking, what's when you find some gold, what is what? I guess maybe he's asking, what's the I guess
I
what's
got
the
it.
what's the when do
Sure,
investors cash in?
sure. Listen, if Santa Claus was in the room and I was sitting on his knee, I'd tell him, we want Discovery, we want to get bought out by Newmont or Goldcorp or somebody. But steps at a time here. We've got 8 different projects in this portfolio, 9 total in northwestern Ontario. Any one of those projects, upon success, upon the successful establishment of a compliant resource or an estimate, that's when you can say, well, maybe we move towards mining it ourselves, become a miner, or maybe we entertain a buyout. Now, the buyout could be of just the project itself. Buyout could be of the company. It depends on really what happens on that success. But those are typically your exit strategies, at least from a corporate standpoint. Investors have exit strategies that don't necessarily have to follow that path. I mean, you can shoot up $3, $4, $5 a stock on Discovery, and that could be an exit for an investor, right?
Yeah, so I guess everybody wants, yeah, I mean, everybody wants
Yeah.
to know is everybody's asking about the news flow. Basically, they want to know what, I guess that's one of the questions we always ask. What kind of news flow can we expect?
Sure.
And
We're going to be,
the velocity of news flow.
yeah, no, well, listen, there's no point in waiting and twiddling our thumbs. One of the reasons why this Northern Dominion did the deal with Cross River is we've committed and pledged to an aggressive exploration program for these projects. They want to see that. They didn't want somebody to come in and buy them out. Or, they're not going to sell to somebody who's just going to sit on these, for years. Now is the time to do it. We need to deliver a drill hole in 2021 while this gold market is epic. And so we're committed to doing that. Again, it has to be methodical, and the reason we have to be methodical is we don't want to miss. We want to give our investors every opportunity to win, and that comes with a methodical, appropriate approach to the exploration component.
Okay. And another question: Do you have enough capital to get through the program? Like, what's how's the capital situation?
Yeah. Well, we recently raised 1.75 million, so we have money in the bank, more than enough to get the work started and moving. But more than likely, we would entertain another financing. That's what you need when you're an explorer. But the nice thing is our structure can handle a couple of financings, particularly if we can do it, north of 50 cents or even more. And we certainly know there's interest in financing us. We've had some conversations even this morning. So, funding, I think, is there. We certainly have enough to get the ball rolling. And I think funding really will be one of the least worrisome parts of this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, in this market, especially in this market, the money is always available if you have a good project.
Right, and that's what this is. When institutional investors, when sophisticated investors look at an exploration company, this is what they like to see: multiple projects. So it's not a drill and kill, as they say. If you kill one project, you're still very much alive. Got lots of projects in the right area. Great structure, good management team, and the technical team is, I think, unrivaled when you get into that stuff. So we tick a lot of boxes off.
Okay, how many? What fully diluted? How many shares are outstanding right now?
We're at that 19 million stage right now. There's 16 million, but once this acquisition gets factored in upon approval, exchange approval, there'll be a 2.5 million add to that. So we'll be right around 19 million. A significant portion of that is not free trading. There's escrow shares from the IPO, plus the financing, the very first financing we did, the IPO financing, which wasn't a lot of money, but that stock doesn't even come into the market until February. So we've got this window here that's super tight.
Okay, so basically a 10 million market cap, roughly, right? A little bit less. And a lot of multiple shots on goal with some big upside here. When Alex, so we're gonna have you back. Actually, you're gonna do like the full slide deck presentation
Yeah.
next week sometime.
Yeah, what we'd like to do is we've got a phenomenal map maker. You can see his
Okay.
work right there. So when he's put everything together and we have the sort of a deck that's interesting to go through, we'll go through the projects in more detail. I'd like to get somebody from the technical team involved in that so they could speak to technical questions that I'm sure that it would generate. But yeah, absolutely, let's come back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think for the next presentation, bring your technical team on, your geologist, and because I think we'll have some pretty serious interest in the stock by then, and we'll look forward to seeing this as our next 10 bagger, Alex.
It's great. The timing is perfect, Jack. And my job is to tell you these things. But if you remove me and you go down the list of things you want to see in a gold exploration company, I think you're going to find it right here.
Alex, let's just recap. I know we probably talked about this like about 15 times. Yeah. To recap, top 3 reasons why investors should consider Cross River today. Like what in your opinion?
Early stage. I mean, we're what, 5 months old, 6 months old. Our share structure is really, really tight. We've already cashed up. We've already made the acquisitions to put us on the map. So that isn't yet to come. And then you look at the history and the provenance of this package that we picked up. Who's involved? I forgot to mention one of the prospectors who delivered these projects to Northern Dominion is a man named Perry English. Perry was the guy who gave the ground to Great Bear. So there's more pedigree to this. Perry's work on the ground was well rewarded by the discovery at Dixie by Great Bear, and he was behind most of, if not all, of the projects that we just picked up through Northern Dominion. So provenance to the projects, right area, right time. Gold is exploding. It will continue to move in the right direction, and we're going to be active and aggressive, and we're not going to sit on our hands in a dark room. You're going to hear about us. You're going to see us. We're going to generate a large audience to follow us, and that'll be a benefit to our ownership.
Okay, excellent, Alex. Thank you again. Thank you everybody for joining us, for the great questions. You're helping me out here with gold. So we'll see you on the next live stream.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, everybody.